the COVID-19 pandemic, it has brought in a new normal form of online presence. I mean, there are people that have not left their houses since the pandemic started. And so life has not stopped. The reason life has not stopped is because of technology. People are leveraging on technology to do all they need to do. And so today we're going to be taking you through the rudiments of business opportunities online, what to look out for, what to avoid, things to do, the do's, the don'ts, the skills that are required, and all of that. The truth is, if we need to break through in this new scheme of things, there's absolutely no way we will not go digital, and there's no way we will not use online platforms. And so today our speaker is going to take us through the whole of that. And talking of speakers, the speaker for today actually lives, breathes, eats, drinks business. She is a business person through and through. She started her first business in 2002. She's the managing partner and co-founder of Blue Advisory, a business consulting firm. She actually started her career in IT and then delved into management consulting with one of the big four consulting firms. Equal to this, she served as the business development manager in one of Nigeria's largest commercial law firms, driving strategy formulation and implementation, change management, business analysis, operations optimization, and managerial support for the management board. She leads the delivery of startup advice efficiency to Blue Advisory's clientele and provides a wealth of experience in supporting clients across industries such as financial, technology, manufacturing, telecoms, professional services, retails, and even non-for-profit organizations. She holds an MBA with a distinction, of course, from Warwick Business School, where she receives the Dean's Award for Academic Excellence. And she owns a Bachelor of Science degree in Electronics and Electrical Engineering from the Obafemi Awolowo University. Her desire to realize positive change has driven her commitment to collaborate with various organizations and institutions alike to enable growth and innovation through thought leadership. She actually offers free business clinics, free business advisory services to over 200 entrepreneurs. She attends, she does speaking engagements, and she has published so many articles. So without wasting much of our time today, please make welcome our speaker today, Mrs. Opeyemi Ndukwe.
Thank you, everybody. When he said make welcome, I could just picture myself in a pre-COVID world, walking in, strutting in, catwalking, and saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. But this is COVID. This is our new reality. And well, I'm still doing the struts, just that this time around, it's in my head. I'll just a quick minute while I put my screen up, and so that we can get started. All right, where are we? All right, today our topic is welcome everybody. Thank you for joining. I know that people are joining from various parts of the world, and thank you for joining wherever you are, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, like Andy already indicated. Right. Today's topic is business opportunities online. Right. And my name is Opeyemi Ndukwe. I am the managing partner and co-founder of Blue Advisory. A little bit about me. Andy already told you I started my first business in 2002. I was studying electrical electronics engineering in Obafemi Awolowo University, Nigeria, Ife. So for those who don't know where that is, it's in Nigeria. And as usual, for the Nigerians among us who know about federal universities and the incessant strikes, we had gone on a 3-month holiday, and ASU went on strike, and we were home for 11 months. During that period, right, my friends and I we ran out of things to do because we only planned for 3 months, and we started to work on different ideas. We taught ourselves to bid, to string beads, remember, things like this, and started to sell them. And that's how our first business was called. For those who were my colleagues in school, they might remember Okwe Hill. That was the name that that was the name we used. Since then, there have been several businesses and ventures between then and now. While in school, I went on to launch Delicates, which was both a catering business and a confectionaries business, right? Subsequently as well, I've done a lot of things. I've been burnt, I've learned a lot, and I've worked in different places. Right now, I do Blue Advisory full time. Blue Advisory is a full service management consulting firm with presence in Nigeria and Canada. Today, I have a companion that is accompanying me on this journey. You will not be seeing him, but you will hear about him. His name is Tisco. He's the founder of Wazobia Couture. A little bit about Tisco. Tisco is a graduate with a bachelor's in economics education. He has always loved fashion, right? So he started out with a job as a tailor in a fashion house, right? Now he has launched an online business using the principles we'll be discussing in today's training. So welcome Tisco with me as well to today's engagement. Do you remember Vision 2020? Thank you, PKO. I see you clapping for Tisco. Do you remember Vision 2020? Right? If you remember, please drop a comment, right, about what you remember about Vision 2020. Just drop a comment in the chat room. We had top 20 economies. One of our plans was that we were going to become Nigeria was going to become one of the top 20 economies in the world. We had this plan to be fully industrialized. We were determined that there will be no poverty in the land, and there will be housing for everybody by 2020. It was initially 2000, Vision 2000, then it became Vision 2020, right? Here we are today, and this is what 2020 looks like. It's like, you know how we talk about how Instagram pictures and reality can be worlds apart. So our vision and our reality is poles apart. At the beginning of this year, analysts were predicting that Nigeria might sink into a recession. And not just Nigeria, a number of economies across the world had, the US, for instance, in North America, the US and in Canada, they had been talking about a looming recession, right? That everybody had been predicting it for a while. But in all our seeing, we did not see COVID-19 showing up and telling us, hold up, it's not like that. You thought you could predict the future? Let me show you something. You never saw this coming, and we never did. At least most of us in our lifetime. I remember my mom telling me, okay, I've never seen anything like this. I said, Bobby, what do you want me to say? If you have not seen anything like this, then what am I supposed to say? COVID-19 showed up, we had lockdowns, we had business shutdowns, and right now we are facing mass unemployment and underemployment. This is our new reality. It is sad, it's actually not, it's not funny in any way. Right, and this is one of the major reasons why we are here today. With our evolving reality, with our evolving normal, there is a need for us to transition from what we always had to something else that is going to benefit us, that is going to position us and enable us to be partakers in the future that we see approaching. And that brings us to our topic of today, right? Positioning ourselves to be able to take advantage of online businesses. But of course, we cannot, it only stands to reason that we must define what we mean when we say online businesses. There are two key definitions I typically use. The first is online businesses are those businesses that are operated, managed, and we deliver services primarily on the internet or through the internet. So that is one type of online business. The other type are traditional businesses or traditional ventures or practices with the potential to leverage the internet for its operations. So a typical example in the first instance will be, say, freelancing. If you're a virtual assistant, right, or you're trading currencies online, well, trading currencies didn't always used to be online, but for quite a bit, it's been online, right? On the other hand, for traditional businesses, I would use Blue Advisory as an example, where traditional business, we have offices, we have staff, we have tables and chairs, right? And water coolers and all of that. But in our evolving reality, we're a virtual business in that we still have our staff, we haven't laid anybody off, but everybody is working remotely, leveraging the internet to deliver services, including conducting strategy sessions end-to-end over the internet. That is the evolving normal. And at this point, we can also call ourselves an online business. Let me take a quick poll at this point before we continue. For business owners that are participating in this training, in this session, how does your business currently operate online? Do you operate fully online? Do you operate partially or not at all? Could you please drop a comment in the chat box, and somebody will pick, I can already see some comments popping up, and somebody will pick them for us on the next slide. Okay. So where is your customer? Where is the customer? Right? Right now we have, or not necessarily right now, earlier this year, we had 85.49 million internet users in Nigeria, right? And it's estimated that about 13 billion, that the size of the Nigerian e-commerce sector is 13 billion US dollars. That is a lot. That's a lot. And in between 2019 and 2020, it's reported that number of internet users increased by 2.2 million. So your guess is as good as mine. This was all pre-COVID. What do you think? Do you think the numbers are lower now or higher? Right? I personally think that the numbers are higher now because COVID has forced us all to go online. COVID has forced us out of our comfort zones. A lot of people, like my parents' contemporaries, who never used internet banking, have had to learn to use it. Some have resorted to mobile because internet is too difficult for them. But quite a number are also using online banking. They've got on the internet and are using the internet for things that they never did before. So what do we think? Is this going to be, do we expect it to continue to increase? Or do we for any reason expect that this is the numbers that are going to drop, right? So at this point, Yomade, are you able to give me the results of the poll? Yomade or Andy?
Yes, I'm here. So far only, let's see, 10 people responded and a large majority of them are partially online.
Partially online, thank you.
Yeah.
So we can touch base on it. We can take a look at it again down the line if it changes significantly. So people are partially online. Right? So let's think about how has the migration of the customer from being physically on the road to being virtually on the internet affected different sectors. And I'm not speaking just about COVID. I'm including both COVID and pre-COVID situations. We have agri-tech, right? Agricultural technology. And it takes multiple forms, including people using technology to deliver extension services to farmers. We have healthcare and telemedicine. Frankly, we always thought we had to physically visit the doctor for everything or the pharmacist for some of us. But right now, we can, in the comfort of our homes, get at least a first opinion about whatever is happening to us, right? Digital banks, right? That's that one, we all understand that. Recruitment is a very interesting one. Now, recruitment before used to be that you might submit your CV online, but from screening down, almost everything is done physically. I remember in 2013, when I took on my last paid employment, I had to physically go to the office to sign a letter. Today, in the last 2 months, I can assure you that Law Advisory does recruit. We offer recruitment. We have conducted recruitment end to end, from screening to interviews, all the way to offer letters, to signing and accepting the offer letter, to resuming, and to conducting onboarding, every single thing online, virtually. So maybe we should have Recruit Tech as well as a name. EduTech, when last did your children go to school? Wherever you are in the world, some people are lucky, right? Very few places in the world, maybe New Zealand and a few other places, are able to, and some parts of Canada, are able to continue to go to school. But for my friends in Nigeria and in most other parts of the world, when last did your children go to school? So we have EduTech. We have logistics becoming a big thing. So even people like GIG Logistics have apps. And I don't know if this app, or I mean, it must have been in the works pre-COVID, or it must have been launched pre-COVID. But I know that COVID really blew it up, right? You can just go online, download their app. This is not a paid service announcement or anything. It's not an advertisement. I'm just using it as an example. Download an app, order your shipment, or pickup, arrange for pickup and delivery to any part of Nigeria. So everybody is leveraging technology, including churches. So we have Spirit Tech too. This is my word. Please quote me when you're using it, or reference me as the author. Spirit Tech, church is online. And for the past 2 or so months, we've all been attending church. It's 3 months, I think. We've all been attending church online, for those that are Christians. For those that are not, I assume that whatever it is that what you used to go to a physical place to get, like the mosque, you now do in your house or over the internet. And there are multiple ways to play online, right? There's still an opportunity. So in spite of all the challenges that we've already said 2020 brought with it, there are still lots of opportunities, and there are multiple ways to play online. So we have employment. With employment, when I say employment, I mean self-employment, right? I'm referring to both self-employment and regular paid employment, right? And because business is not for everybody. I know that a lot of people say, oh, the way forward is business, stop building another person's dream. It's okay to build another person's dream. It's actually okay. As long as it is fine by this is what you want, or it's a means to an end, or it is in line with where you are going in life. Why not? Right? So it's okay to be employed by somebody else, or you could be self-employed as a freelancer freelancing for one person or for multiple parties, right? But your regular one-man business is just you, is self-employment. There are transition businesses. So transition businesses are those traditional businesses, right? So think about what a tailor, a cafe, a restaurant. Those are traditional businesses. Brick and mortar. A church, right? A law firm. We have tons and tons of traditional businesses. So your typical brick and mortar businesses, and then transitioning them from being primarily physical to being significantly online, right? And then you have the pure digital business. These ones are usually online anyway. So even if you create a team around the product and you create an office, it is still primarily delivered online. So think about things like trading cryptocurrency, trading currencies, or building even applications, those sort of things. A lot of those things are primarily delivered online. They're digital businesses, right? So we will talk in the course of today, we will talk about all three types of businesses and how we can tap into them. So the next question then will be that you probably ask me, I've given you three models. Which of these models is right for you? As is usually the case, the answer is it depends. And it depends on a number of factors. What are the demands? What is the demand and the trends in your environment, in your market, or in the market that you are targeting? What skills and resources do you have? And what interests and opportunities what are your interests on your opportunities, right? So at the end of the day, your best fit lies where these three intersect. So let me give you a bit more information about each one. With demands and trends, you want to ask yourself, what does your market need, right? Is this need genuine and is it enduring, or is it a fad that is going to pass away, right? So if you were thinking of healthy eating, there was a time with healthy eating, there are usually fads. There was a time when people were saying, all you need to do is, there's always one thing or the other. At some point, people will be talking about low-fat diet. At some point, they'll be talking about balanced diet. At some point, they'll be talking about, there's always one thing or the other, right? Those may be fads, but healthy eating, fitness, and weight loss is here to stay, right? That is not a fad. So is there a genuine need, and is it enduring? What demographic has this need? So you create a product. You say it is for the bottom of the pyramid. You know that on average, the disposable income for that market is very low, but you want to price your product high. That does not make any sense, right? So what you want to offer, who needs it? And how large is the market? And can they afford to pay for it? Then we go to your skills and your resources, right? What skills and resources do you have or can you acquire to be able to, sorry, 1 minute, I have something distracting me. What skills and resources do you have or can you acquire to be able to provide this service or product, right? What resources do you have access to, or have the ability to obtain? This could be money. It could be products. It could be raw materials. It could be anything. It could be knowledge, right? But what do you have access to, or do you have the ability to acquire or obtain? What is the nature of your skill set? Do you have traditional skill set, or do you have digitally enabled skill set? Now, I can tell you that I want to develop a product that is going to be digital, and it's going to be an application, and it's going to be amazing. I want to create the next Facebook. But if my skill set is traditional in nature, it does not mean I cannot do it, but I'm going to need to make a lot of changes or certain compromises to be able to follow my dream. So you need to understand the nature of your skills, right? And your ability to do what you would love to do. Are you a solo player or a collaborator? Right? If you're a solo player and you want to go it alone, it means that you need to have all the skills required end to end. But if you are a collaborator and you love to collaborate, it's okay to have just a subset of the skills and collaborate with other people to be able to deliver your product or your service, right? Then what are your interests and opportunities? What are you interested in? What is your risk appetite? So you cannot say, I don't like any risk. I don't want to lose any money. Or you have a situation where you have a growing family and they have certain needs and you have certain responsibilities. You must feed your children. But you want to go and start a high risk business that may not return any income for the next 1 year. That is not realistic. Do you thrive in uncertainty, or you prefer that somebody else should have that headache? That's also something to consider when you're determining how best you fit. If you are somebody that does not like risk and does not like uncertainty, you want to do a job and be certain that at the end of the month your paycheck is coming, then go for paid employment, or at worst, self-employment, right? But if you are open to risk and you are very street smart and you are able to get things done, a doer, right, you can go for business, right? Now that you decided what model might be right for you, you have no ideas, right? And I know this happens a lot, and it's okay. We're not all idea generators, right? So a quick digression here. Yesterday, I was telling my husband that there's a pun in there, and he was looking at me. So I said, okay, let's just leave it. That's going to be a dry joke. So there are two options usually when you're trying to generate that we're going to consider for this, for generating ideas for an online business. The first option, and there are many options, I'm not in any way suggesting that our options are limited to these two. There are usually several options. But the first option is you can choose to fill an online market gap. So think about this. There may be traditional businesses, right, that have not yet moved online. So for instance, I'm thinking maybe restaurants right now, or lounges or clubs. Yes, let's use clubs. A lot of clubs in Nigeria or even around the world have not yet moved online. Or those that are even DJs that are performing online, they have not yet found ways to monetize it. Is there a way, can you design a product that meets the same need, but is primarily online? If you can, you have an opportunity to launch. I've used a very difficult one, right? Because a lot of people think, a lot of people would usually go for the easier ones. But let's go for the ones that are a little bit more difficult, right? Can you provide that service or that product online? If you can, and you can innovate and design it in a way that is viable, then take it online and do it quickly. So you can launch a business like that, or you can just innovate. So if the players are already online, right? Traditional players are already online. You can innovate to find a different way of doing it. So I'll give you an example. Banks in Nigeria have been online for a really long time. There we have mobile banking, we had internet banking first, we have mobile banking, we have all of that, right? But the financial technology companies are still disrupting. They are still innovating and bringing out products that we like and can tap into. And that is the power of innovation. Now, there are multiple models for innovating, and I can already hear some people say, innovation is a big word, right? Innovation is a big word. What does it mean? How do I innovate? There are models that you can follow to innovate that can help you to think and to assess existing products or market to identify potential ways or innovations for that market. There's design thinking. I like design thinking, but today I will give you one model, which is Scamper. So Scamper stands for the first words of substitute, combine, adapt, modify, put to another use, eliminate, or reverse. So let's take this one by one. Substitute, a very good example. And in some cases, I will use online businesses. I will use different examples just to give us a broad view. Substitute. An easy substitute will be to say, usually if you go to a restaurant in Nigeria, your choice of swallow would usually be eba, for the Yorubas, amala, pounded yam for most places in the country, and in recent times, semo. But what if you had things like plantain flour, which is a healthier alternative that the people who are looking to eat healthy can gravitate towards, or even potato poundo, like we now have all over the market, right? Combine is when you take different products, different, products or different attributes, and combine them to form a single product or a single opportunity within the market. So there's one that I particularly like. There's a company called, once again, this is not a paid endorsement. I've not even been there in a few years, but there's a company called Evron Supermarket. Evron is located on Chevron Drive in Lekki. when everyone came into the market, they were just like a small player, right? But they came in with a very well-defined business model. They were going to sell groceries, edibles, right? But they did not limit it to just being your regular grocery store. They added another layer, which is they then decided that they were going to bring mile 12 to Lekki. So once a month on a Saturday morning, I don't remember what Saturday it was, maybe second Saturday, they would have their mile 12 market in Everton. It was always a madhouse because you were coming to buy all this fresh produce at mile 12 prices. It was a madhouse, but it was effective and it was amazing because you knew that a lot of people would leave their bulk shopping till that Saturday. Everyone will do the bulk, they will do the numbers, right? And they would target a bigger market. And it was also a good acquisition strategy because people who would never have heard about Everton heard about the mile 12 market in Everton and came for it, right? But they did not even stop there. They then also offered online shopping back then. So this is 3, 4, 5 years back. They offered online shopping. So you could place your order for your regular supermarket groceries or your mile 12 groceries. They will pack it and deliver it to your house. So you could literally be in your office. You could be out of town on a Saturday morning and place an order and it will get to your house. Your nanny or your driver or yourself or your younger sister or brother did not have to go anywhere. I don't know if they still do it. I don't know if their online shopping still works, but it is a pretty, I'm wondering who is writing on my screen. But it was a pretty effective model when
We're working on it. We're working on finding out what's going on. Continue.
Okay, all right, thanks. Then we have Adapt. Adapt again, I will use another company. Adapt is when you take existing products and you tweak them, adapt them for a new market. So for instance, all of what we have been saying is mostly about adapting traditional models to suit an evolving normal. One company that has done that, well, they've been doing it for quite a number of years now, is DIY Law. So DIYlaw.ng, they are a technology firm that delivers legal services. So you want to register a business, you can just go to DIYlaw.ng and do everything online. You don't physically need to go to a lawyer, you don't need to call anybody necessarily. You fill in all your details, you can pay online and you commence your registration process. Modify, think about Modify as your regular Modify. It could also be Magnify, it could be Minify. So if you're thinking about a Minify, think about your headphones, the big headphones we used to have, and how they kept getting smaller and smaller until we now have earpods that you can barely see, right? So that will be Minify. There's also Magnify, and there are different examples of this. Just Modify is a word we're all very familiar with. Put to another use. It could be your resources that you're putting to another use. It could be an existing product that you're putting to another use. But when we talk about resources, one that all of us have seen, no matter where we are in the world, is companies who were doing one thing and had a primary aim that have, during this COVID-19 crisis, pivoted and started to offer a different thing. So in Nigeria, a lot of tailors, right, or fashion designers are offering masks, right? That's something we've all seen, right? There's one I saw as well. There's a company called Wedding Star. They normally sell wedding party favors and resources for weddings, but now they provide masks. They make masks, or like breweries that are now making alcohol for hand sanitizer, right? It's put your resources to a different use. It's a way of also adapting to an evolving normal. Then we have Eliminate, right? I have some people have their microphones on. Please, could you check and mute yourself if you have your microphone on? No. Eliminate, yes, thank you. Eliminate is what you would typically is something we're also familiar with as well. You need to cut costs, you need to cut this, but a different way to look at eliminate is as a way of changing your product, a product or service, right? Innovation. So I'll give you an example. With services, you could have so let's say I have a client that I was speaking to a couple of days back, and he's a professional service provider like me. But one of the things he wants to do, or he has seen a need for, and we talked about, is the need to take traditionally heavy, expensive products, strip down the fluff, right? So that you can provide them, for a different market. So if before the product was priced at 10 million naira, and you want to provide it for a different niche in the market, you can ask yourself, these people in this niche, what do they need? Do they need everything in the 10 million naira product? Or can we strip it down, take away we take away the fluff, we take away the bells, we take away the whistles, and we take away the things that they do not need, which may be critical for the market we were serving before, such that we're able to provide that same product, that same service to another part of the market at a price point that they can afford. Then you have reverse, right? Reverse is when you take something that is supposed to go forward, right, and make it go backwards. And immediately you change the nature of it. So another example, a very good example will be trains. Normally your trains would traditionally, historically go one way. And for them to go backwards, you have to maybe connect a different head or move the head. It was cumbersome. But why don't you do it? Why don't you configure trains or build the trains to be able to go both ways? And all of a sudden, you find that your product is a lot more efficient, right? And it's a two-way product, it's faster, right? So there are so many ways to look at this, but it could be in decision making, it could be in approach, or it could be in the product or service itself, reversing its use, right? And there you have the scamper model. So now you have an idea, but is an idea all you need, right? A good idea is not enough. It's not enough. There is a lot more that makes a good business, right? Not just the idea. So let's talk a bit about the key things that make a good business. You have the product or the service. Without the product or the service, you don't have business. You have nothing to sell. So you have a product or a service. You have your operations. Can you operationalize it? Can you implement it? Can you build efficiency? Can you build processes and policies to drive the implementation of that product? So it's not just about having a product or service to sell. It's also about building a business around it. Do you understand the industry? Do you understand your competitors? Is it a regulated industry? Do you understand what it takes to be compliant, right? Before you jump into implementing your brilliant idea, you need to understand all of the aspects of that industry, your competition, and what the interaction will be. Do you understand the financials? Does it make sense? Is it viable? Do you understand how you make money, profit and loss, cash flow management? If you started today, would you have enough cash to get you to the end, right? Would you have enough cash to get you to the end of year 1 to year 2? Do you need to raise funds? Do you understand how to raise funds, or how to even value your business to raise capital? It's important to understand the basic financials. Even if you're going to get help or you're going to work with a consultant, it's always good to have some knowledge, right? To help to assess your idea. Can you grow that company? Does it have the potential for growth? Now, I must say something here. Not every company is meant to grow. It is possible to design a company or a business that is going to remain small, and it is perfectly okay, but it must be intentional. It shouldn't be that you are forced to remain small because you did not design the company or the business to be able to grow. If your intention is to grow, then your business model must be designed to grow and scale. And most importantly, the customer. Without a customer, no matter what you have around that circle, you do not have a business. The customer is the soul of every business. They are the ones that pay. They are the ones that take or use your service. And without them, you do not have a business. So the idea is only 10%. Execution is 90%, right? Without your execution, all you have is a brilliant idea, like they say, that goes to the grave. So a popular saying is that the grave, right? The graveyard is the richest place on earth. Of course, a lot of ideas are buried in there. Will yours go to the grave with you, or will you actually execute? Now, there are many factors to consider. We've talked a lot about transitioning, but whether you're transitioning, starting, or investing in an online business, there are a few factors to consider. I've touched a bit on some of these things in the previous slide, but I think that it's important to just run through them again. Number one, profitability. Is it profitable? And profitability is not straightforward. I'm not talking about unit profitability. So unit profitability will be to say, I can trade a product, right? Or a service. Per time, it takes me 1 million naira to trade, but my income is 10,000 naira per time, per trade. That is 1%, right? Of your 1 million. And so it doesn't make any sense. Nobody wants to do a business that your income or your return on your investment is 1%. But then comes volumes. Can you do volumes? Can you turn it over? So if that 1 million you collected, you took it, you loaned it, or it's a debt, right? And you're supposed to return it with 20% interest, except that you're only making 1% interest per trade. But what if you were trading every single day in a year? That would mean that in a month, if you traded 30 times, you would have made 30% returns on that capital that you invested. And if you go ahead to trade for a whole year, you would have made 365%. That's a lot. So if you are returning 20% of your 365 to the owner of the capital, not only will you have capital for you to trade, you would have made enough capital for you to trade in the coming year without necessarily having to raise extra. You would also have made significant income, right? So profitability is not just about the unit, it's about the whole. But profitability is not enough. What about the risk? So this 1 million, if the chance of losing your 1 million is 50%, which means that on day one of your trading, you might lose 50% or everything, or you might lose the whole 1 million naira. Is it really worth it? Is that business still worth it? Right? We've established that it is profitable when we look at the volumes, but is it worth it if the risk is really high? So it's a risk reward, high risk, high reward usually, but so you need to consider the risk. Diversification, right? When you're looking to do a business or to build a business, a lot of us build businesses around the singular product. But that you always have to ask yourself, is there a chance to diversify my sources of income? One of the things we have seen this with COVID, and that I was telling a client of ours who is a VC, right? A venture capital firm. We said to them that look into the market and feel free to do a scan. Most of the ventures that are doing well today have multiple sources of income. And we have seen some companies where an entire line of business has been shut down. What is holding them up are the other sources of income. So diversification into this market and in our evolving normal is going to be even more important. can you diversify your income sources, right? It reduces, is a way of reducing your risk as well. Scalability, can it scale? Can it grow? What is it? What is the future? What does the future hold for that business? And of course, execution. Who are the people behind it? My partner and I always say we do not invest in the ideas, we invest in people, because a mediocre idea can turn out to be an amazing business. And a very brilliant idea can just die an uneventful death, right? Who are the founders? Who are the promoters? What is their pedigree? Those are some of the things. What have they done before? What's their track record? So now let's go into actual examples of businesses that you can do online. There are 4 categories here: self-employment and freelancing, products, services and knowledge, and other online businesses. So self-employment and freelancing, there's quite a bit here. I'm going to take a quick check in. Your mother, please, could you send me a message to tell me how much time I need? I need to know how much time I have. I need to know how much time I can put right towards all of this. Thank you, Yamadi.
Okay.
So we have blogging and vlogging. We already all know about blogging. A popular blogger that just about all of us know is Linda Keji. And we have a fair idea because she told us about how much money she's made. But how do you make money from blogging? There's so many ways. As for blogging, you can, you have a blog usually, and you're writing articles. You can feature people and they'll pay you to be featured. You can advertise for people. Of course, you have to build the following first of all. So you have to put in the work. It's not likely to happen overnight. You can use your traditionally Google ads, and you can even do affiliate. You can carry affiliate products. So you carry links to people's products or review their products. Oh, I have a hair product. It's very beautiful. It makes your hair this. I've tried it out. This way my result. Click on this link to buy your product. Those are some of the ways you make money from blogging. And its close relative is vlogging, video logging. So you might use YouTube or you might use your own blog to carry your videos, and just same sort of sources of income, right? And YouTube ads as well if you're using YouTube. Podcasting is similar, right? But like everything, you want to create a following. If you already have a name or you're already well known for something, you can from day one start to charge for your podcast. That's the truth. If you already have a following that will be willing to pay. If you do not, you need to put in the work. And this is where some of the tips that we have learned from digital marketing comes in, because here you are actually self-employed. So you are the one promoting yourself, you're promoting your service or your product. You can also do these things for other people, right? You can do this you can do it for yourself, or you can offer this as a service to a single client or multiple clients. Apps and website design. So this is purely digital skills, right? Developing applications or developing websites for people. That's usually self-employment or freelancing as well. You can be a virtual assistant. Now, virtual assistant is an underrated service. A lot of people don't know this exists. Blue Advisory has placed quite a number of people have hired virtual assistants for diverse purposes. So we've had companies hire virtual assistants. So picture this, you're a CEO or you're a busy person. You don't have the need for a full-time PA sitting with you in the office. Well, pre-COVID, right? But you have certain needs. You need somebody to sort out your emails. You need somebody to do some basic research for you. You need somebody to just take care of some of those things that are distracting so you can focus on the strategic. That you need a virtual assistant, or a virtual assistant can solve that for you. We've had situations where a busy executive was getting married and she knew she wasn't going to have time. She had a wedding planner, but she also got a virtual assistant to work with her towards her wedding, right? And that virtual assistant, sometimes the virtual assistant was in Lagos. Sometimes the virtual assistant was in Kaduna. But throughout that period, the virtual assistant was planning a wedding in Lagos and a wedding in Greece, right? Managing vendors, managing payments and due dates. All the bride had to do was to do the transfer, right? We've also had a busy executive that was planning events, responsible for multiple things. Even I have worked with a virtual assistant before. Over the last 1 year, I've had a virtual assistant and it has been amazing. A lot of my projects, the projects I do both for work and outside of work, sometimes it's my virtual assistant that will do some of the work with me. Freelance writing, we all know that English can be a problem. We routinely joke in Nigeria that English is not our first language, even though you can argue that it is. Like I say, PKO, English is your first language. Is that not what they used to teach you in primary school? But I get it. PKO, you understand English. So maybe not you. But even for when you understand English, right? Sometimes writing might not be something you have time to do, but it is a need you have. It's also something that executives, it's a service that a lot of executives use. Sometimes I have all these ideas in my head and I'm making notes, but I don't have time to do. I have like 5 right now articles sketched out, unwritten, because I don't have the time to dedicate to write it. If I had a freelance writer, which I now do, right, and work with sometimes, I could give them all these ideas and work and give them the tools they need to. I just tell them to flesh it out. They write it for me, especially if they're really good. And all I need to do is tweak it, ensure it is in my voice, and I can put it up, right? So sometimes freelance writers you don't even have the ideas. A freelance writer can generate the idea, do the research, write the article, do everything, and you pay them and you put your name on it, right? So there's so many ways that freelance writing comes in. Graphics design. You remember when we used to physically go to a graphic designer's office to get them to design flyers and print it for us? Sometimes they will only design it, you put it on a flash drive, then you go and print, or a diskette before the days of flash drive to go and print. Those days are gone. Everything is online now. A lot of you saw the flyers for today's event. Somebody designed it. Somebody put it together, right? And people are paying for it. Graphics, we need banners. There are banner ads all over the internet. There are graphics and images and things that you use on your social media, that you use for whatever, even in your articles, in your work, right? Graphics design is an essential skill. If you have the skill or you're creative, it's something you can learn, right? And deliver as a service to people, right? Yomade, did you send it? I don't know where it is, if you can, if you could. I'm waiting for it on WhatsApp.
I sent it, so you have another 7 minutes.
Oh, okay, so we will speed up. Thank you. Content creation is similar to graphics design, but it is the broader one. So it could be writing, copywriting, it could be images, it could be graphics, it could be videos. But think about the boom of social media. Think about the boom. We're all online now, right? So we're going to need more content. All those beautiful videos you see, all those engaging videos you see, it's a lot of work and somebody is putting it together. What sort of content can you create? Can you do cartoons? Can you do videos? Can you direct videos? Can you shoot videos? Can you just go out and take really nice still images that people can then pay for to use? Managing social media profiles. People need help managing their social media. You can check me out on Instagram. I have 2 pictures, no 3. 2 of them are Blue Advisories, last 2 Christmas cards, right? I don't remember what the 3rd one is, but there are some people a lot of people are going to need help managing their social media profiles, whether they're personal or they're professional. And there's social media influencing. If you are a people person, you love to use social media, you can actually, sometimes people become influencers just by posting jokes, and people like their jokes, they follow them, and all of a sudden they have 500,000 followers. They are influencers. Anything they post on their page will potentially reach maybe 50% of that 500,000. That's a lot. product, right? And of course, there's mystery shopping. Now, mystery shopping is also going to evolve. It won't only be physical, but it will be online as well. Is that you like to shop? Something to think about. If you're interested in freelancing, put down this link and we will drop your details for us. We might have an announcement that will be of interest to you in a few weeks, and we will send you a message. Yomade, please, could you put the link in the chat box as well so that people can see it after we've gone past this page? So products, when you think about selling products, right, you usually think physical products, but what about digital products online? So with physical products, you have I'm not going to talk much about that. You have food, clothes, jewelry, the whole works. We all know all of these things. But you also have artisanal products. So maybe traditionally your mother used to make soap, or your grandma used to make hair oil that was really amazing. Could you make this product at home and use and sell them online, right? Digital products as well. Have you ever thought about gift vouchers? So we have gift vouchers usually for physical stores. You could go into a physical store and buy a gift voucher. We have some companies that also started to do gift vouchers for those physical stores. So they will give you an electronic voucher that you could take to a number of physical stores and buy stuff. But what about vouchers for online shopping, right? Could you work with a lot of people online and say, okay, I will create online vouchers for that people can come and use, right? And create the tools and the technology. When people use it, you can actually validate that it is, a real voucher and pay them. I will pay you. There are so many things that you can do. There's airtime, of course. There are videos. You can create videos, or you can curate them and sell them. Images, we talked about taking pictures and selling those online. Now the question is how, right? These are the what. How do you do it? There's drop shipping. Drop shipping is usually for products. And it's traditionally what happens with drop shipping is you have somebody who is manufacturing or making the product. You don't need to buy it. You are just selling. You are not holding anything. You are not keeping any stock in your house. So the person, you will find the buyer. Once the buyer places an order, it goes from the manufacturer or the maker direct to the buyer. And you manage the funding part, right? Once the buyer has paid, you pay the manufacturer or whatever, depending on the relationship or the agreement that you have. You can tweak it, right, and modify it. A lot of us are in Nigeria where you have people that make amazing art, right? How about creating an online marketplace for art? You don't have to be the one making it. You don't even have to hold it in your house. You just have an agreement with the creators. You can create an online marketplace, or you can use an online marketplace. So you can go to the Jumias and the Kongas of wherever you live, or the Amazons, and place your wares there, right? Sell through them. Or you can create your own e-commerce website facing a local or an international or a niche market is your choice. And of course, you can use social media. We know that a lot of people are creating businesses that operate strictly off social media these days, and it can be pretty effective. But note, if you intend to scale, social media may not be enough, but it can be a good way to start. So services, share or sell your know-how online. What are you the most qualified to teach? Each of us knows something, right? It can be a funny thing like how to eat a lot of food and not grow fat. Believe me, there are a billion people that will pay you to tell them how to eat and not grow fat. Me, number one. If you know, well, not bulimia, or we're not promoting bulimia or its cousin, but the idea is, what do you know? What are you the most qualified to teach? There are many things you can do. You can teach, you can coach, you can counsel, you can create video courses, e-courses, you can create ebooks, you can create informational worksheets, guides, templates, how-to guides, how-to videos, right? That you can then sell online. And you can actually create an online real estate agency. I'm using only that as an example. I'm using this as example. This is not an exhaustive list, but it's a list that can jumpstart our thinking. If you have a skill that is typically traditional, you need to ask yourself, how can I transition it from being traditional to being, to being suitable for the new, for our evolving normal. And lastly, you have other online businesses like affiliate marketing, right? Affiliate marketing has two types. Now, when I got this mandate, PKO was insistent and he said, no multi-level marketing. Then I called PKO and said, PKO, we must touch multi-level marketing. Why? You see, there's multi-level marketing companies that are scams, right? Bloody scams, the typical Ponzi schemes, rob Peter to pay Paul, right? There are those ones. Or there are some of them are Ponzi schemes that are disguising as multi-level marketing companies. And they are real, genuine, viable multi-level marketing companies. But before I jump into MLM, let's talk a bit about single level affiliate marketing. I mentioned I mentioned this earlier, right? Where you have just a link to a product, to somebody's website, and anybody that follows your link, you get a cut or a commission for that. So you're not recruiting any team, you're just selling for the company, as we're generating traffic for a company, and you get paid for that. But then there's the actual multi-level marketing, which usually incorporates that generation of traffic or referral with building a team. Now, I'm not here to promote any particular business. I do multi-level marketing. I started trying it out in school, and of course, the first one I did was a bloody scam. So I have been hurt, right? But I have learned a lot, and now I can support a real company, right? So the company, I'm not going to tell you what company I do it with. I do it because I love their product. Everybody in my family uses their product. So I am able to get it for cheaper than affiliate, right? So let me tell you a bit more. There's usually a legitimate product or service for real multi-level marketing companies, right? So somebody cannot tell you, I am going to buy this product, right? I'm going to invest your money in this product. When it goes up, I will sell it and give you the profit. Tell them to give you the product. You will hold it yourself. When it goes up, you either sell it yourself or they can come and sell it for you, right? Because what usually then happens is, if you decide that you are not going on, you have absolutely nothing. Because usually there is nothing, it's a scam. So there's usually a legitimate product or service. So with the product, you get the product, right? And if you choose not to continue, you can sell your product for the same amount or higher than you bought it for, or you can use it and obtain value. Same as the service, right? You can usually use it and obtain a specific value. There's a real company and real human beings behind the company. If you Google it, what is the company? Who founded this company? Right? Who are these people? What have they done before? Have they ever been indicted? Are they scammers, or are they real human beings, real business people? There's an ability to earn even without recruiting. So usually there's the option to just refer, right? And sell their products for them if you don't want to build a team. But the real money usually lies in building a team. That's the truth. The real money usually lies in building a team. But say you are just doing it, or you would just want to put it on your website, you don't want to do it full-time, like I'm not doing it full-time, then you have the opportunity to just earn from referring people. You should not need to overstock. Most of us have heard about people who had to buy a whole truckload of product. They bought it month after month. They couldn't sell it. All their money is tied up and they've never made progress. That model is not sustainable. Either somebody in the company is lying to you, or the business model does not make sense. There is usually a training system, a real training system. You can get all the information you need, and there is support. There are usually strict policies and compliance requirements or ethical marketing codes, right? So it's not anything goes. This thing is the be all, like one of my friends calls it, snake oil merchant. It's snake oil that is going to make you rich, right? Without working. Or I'm just thinking of some big claims that make no sense, right? It requires hard work. Anybody that tells you otherwise is lying to you. So they will come to you and tell you, oh, this thing is going to give you, what do they usually call it? Residual income. You don't need to work. Don't worry, I'm just going to get you the 2 people you need. It's a lie. Go and check it. All the people that have made big money in MLM, they worked really hard. Every single one of them, unless it was a Ponzi scheme, in which case they just ripped off other people. But people that make a lot of money from multi-level marketing work really hard. So if you're looking for something that is not going to require hard work, do not go to multi-level marketing. Every successful business requires hard work. It works. I know people who send their children from Nigeria to the UK to what's it called, private schools, on the money they make from multi-level marketing. But believe me, they put in the work, a lot of work. A second online business to think about is Forex and cryptocurrency trading, or even traditional stock trading, right? There's a lot of money in it as well. But just like every other business, there are things to think about. It's usually high risk, high reward. There are certain things you must know or must have. You must have the skills. So take the time to develop the skills that you require. Understand the risk. Don't put money that you okay. So I know I'm running out of time, Yomade, but I have a friend who, in 2009, he borrowed 2.2 million from his father and put it into Forex and lost it. In fact, it took family meeting to make
Wow.
to stop that boy from being disowned by his father. Everybody came because he borrowed the money. Don't borrow money to trade. You must understand the risk and the reward and find ways, there are ways to mitigate the risks, but it is not 100%, but you can reduce it. And some of the ways to mitigate
Okay. All right, I think we're having connection problem. Okay, Yomadi, are you there?